Good morning everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is David Hyman, your tour guide in Israel. This morning we are touring Jerusalem. We are going to visit one of the most special places in the city of Jerusalem. This site, it is called Ketef Hinnom. Ketef Hinnom Archaeological Garden. It's open and it's free, no admission. It's very easy to find. I'll show you where it is. It is directly across the street from the train station, in between the Scottish Church of St. Andrews and the Menachem Begin Heritage Center. Let's go in and I'll show you why I'm so excited about this place and what was found here not very long ago. Tombs from the first temple period. One of them, tomb number 24, revealed one of the biggest gifts of archaeology to Israel ever. So right underneath the St. Andrew's Church of Scotland, you will find a series of first temple period caves, tombs carved in the rock. These were part of the necropolis surrounding the walls of the old city of Jerusalem. Most of these caves were complete, meaning that they also had a roof, but because this site later on was used as a quarry, so therefore the caves are just exposed without their roofs. This is the most remarkable cave at this site, as it contains some of the most important archaeological finds in Jerusalem. Let's take a closer look at cave number 24. The way the burial worked in the first temple period is that a dead person would be placed on a ledge and there would be a headrest. See, there's one headrest here and another one there, two headrests, so they would place two dead bodies here. So all these deceased people would all be collected and put them in a repository, which looks like this, a repository. It's an empty chamber underneath the burial ledge. Here we can see the design. There's the outer courtyard, there's the vestibule, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 burial chambers. And here the headrests. There's one there, you can see the headrests. Okay. And here's a image of what they would look like. There's the room. There's one of the chambers, burial chamber, and the bone repository. Now we're going to talk about this red little dot. Okay, let me show you what it is. Find spot of the priestly blessing. So in 1979, Professor Gabriel Barkay from the Tel Aviv University, he comes down here to do another excavation of this whole necropolis, this whole burial area. And the problem is that most of these tombs have been either excavated many times or looted by tomb raiders. So there aren't really expectations to find anything special. There's a whole group of teenagers that are assisting with the excavation. These are Jerusalem kids. So one of the teenagers, turns out that he's kind of a nuisance, and he's bugging and nudging Barkay, so he decides to give him an assignment that'll keep him away from trouble, and he sends him inside the repository of cave number 24. It's a small door so a child can kind of sneak in, and he orders him to like sweep up and clean it up. A few minutes later, this child comes up to Gabriel Barkay, the archaeologist, and kind of like yanks on his shirt and says, "Look what I found." And he shows him a perfect, intact, small clay vessel, which is immediately Barkay can tell that this is genuine First Temple period, 7th century BC. They go together into the repository, and here's what happened. What happened was that after the burial, the roof of the repository was thicker than it is now. The whole roof split and fell down on the floor, covered all the treasures, and sealed them underneath what now became the new floor. They're very excited. They remove the floor and they find an untouched 7th century BC burial chamber full of items and objects. More than 1,000 items were found inside, including bones of nearly 100 deceased. And the items they found were clay objects, arrowheads, jewelry, including golden jewelry. And I mean, you can imagine the excitement of finding an untouched tomb from the First Temple period. That is not only extremely rare, it is unheard of. This is the first time that an untouched tomb was found in Jerusalem, dating back to the First Temple period. But it even gets better. Okay, let's see what they found that makes this like one of the most exciting finds in Jerusalem ever. So on the floor they find 2 of these very, very small silver amulets. They're very, very delicate. They're made out of silver. They had a hunch that these are really important. Maybe there's something written on them, but they're rolled up like a little, like kind of on like very, very thin silver foil. And it took them 3 years to figure out a technique to unfold them. And when they do, looks like this. You have a photograph of the silver plaque, and they can see that it has Hebrew writing carved into the silver amulets. And then they give it to experts who can read it. And here's what they read. Okay, ready? Yevarchecha Adonai veishmerecha, Yair Adonai panav elecha, sim lecha shalom. This sound familiar? This is the priestly blessing from the book of Numbers. In English, I'll read it for you. May God bless you and guard you. May God make his face shine onto you and be gracious to you. May God lift up his face onto you and give to you peace. The priestly blessing, deciphered on the silver plaques from Ketef Hinnom, is the oldest biblical text dating from the late First Temple period, 7th and the early 6th century BCE. How crazy is that? So these exact words, the 3 verses of the priest's benediction, in Hebrew, Birkat HaKohanim, are still recited till this day. The priestly blessing is performed daily by all the Kohanim in the congregation in a ceremonial way. They stand bare feet, cover their faces with a talit, and they make the sign of the priest with their fingers. They turn and face the congregation and recite this ancient blessing. So my friends, in 1979, this exact place, archaeologist Gabriel Barkay hit the jackpot big time, because the scrolls that he found, the silver amulets that had the priestly blessing carved on them, these are the oldest words of the Torah, of the Bible, that were found in an archaeological excavation. Okay everyone, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this tour of Jerusalem, the Ketef Hinnom Archaeological Park. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below. And please write me a comment, let me know where you'd like to go on our next tour of wonderful Israel.